Hello and welcome back. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you to keep in mind that any individual species can fall into multiple categories, depending on our perspective. Hawks are predators for mice and fish, but they can also be competitors with snakes for the resource of mice or larger fish for the resource of fish. So keeping that in mind, predation is often the most obvious or discussed interspecies relationship. And the predator-prey relationship is an intricate one. At the surface, it seems that predators are only there to destroy the population of prey, and prey are only there to avoid predators. However, when we take a step back and observe objectively, as we do best as scientists, we can see that over time, these populations and relationships balance each other out and create an equilibrium in nature. This cyclical feedback process is what's known as a Loca-Volterra equation. The graph of this equation shows how the population of predator and prey changes over time. As the predator population starts to increase, you can see that the prey population, of course, starts to decrease until a certain point, at which point the prey population starts to increase because of the limited resource of prey, and the predator population starts to decrease. Now, these feed off each other in a cyclical way, but they do find an equilibrium over time. I think is super interesting. Competition is our next relationship and the next most obvious we see in nature. Competition occurs when two organisms require the same limited resource for life. Competition for food is an obvious example, but can you think of other resources species might compete for? In this jungle, for example, plants are competing for sunlight. They're competing for soil nutrients. They're competing for physical space. So, when we really get down to it, there's a lot more happening when we take the whole picture into account. So in the next video, we'll finish with parasitism and mutualism, and I look forward to you joining me.